Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Trainer Talk. Today is episode 43, so 43 weeks in, coming up on a year. Today we're going to be talking about confidence. And one thing you need to understand is that confidence is built over time through knowledge and experience. A lot of people come into the gym to see us, and one of the reasons that they don't always start out exercising or joining a class or wherever it may be is because they don't feel confident enough. And basically what they need to understand is they need to build that confidence over time by learning how to do the movements and actually doing them. So gaining experience with it, that's how we gain confidence in anything. So we're going to try to relate it not just to health and fitness, but also to the real world, how the more we do something, the more confident we become in that area. And we can also try to help you guys out when it comes to reaching your goals in health and fitness. So we're just going to start out by talking about confidence, maybe a couple different ways that we build confidence, hopefully help you guys gain a little confidence and learn a little bit more.
Yeah, so how I think of confidence is like you just gain knowledge, you gain experience, and then that's kind of what builds it, whether that's in your job, in the gym, with your nutrition. I think a lot of it comes through just built-in action. Like a lot of people will think confidence is just like believing in yourself, or it's walking around with your chest puffed out because you're super confident and you don't fear, you don't have any worries or anxieties or anything like that. And really it's like built through action. Like if you're confident but you can't back up that confidence with your actual actions, then you're just cocky. So confidence is actually being able to do what you believe you can do, and being like, you want to be solid in what you can do and who you are, and like know where you're at, be at peace with that. But then even if you do know you want to get better and you want to do different things that will increase your confidence, you still have to be like at peace and comfortable with where you're at too. Like accept where you're at. That helps with it as well. And it's like I said, confidence isn't about lack of fear or doubt or anxieties. That would kind of be like self-delusional or cockiness of just like, yeah, I'm not scared of anything, or I'm not, I could do anything I wanted to. But like in reality, it's like you can always be better. So like confidence isn't lack of those things. It's accepting that those things are there, but knowing like yourself well enough, and then like being able to just like perform and say, okay, this is where I'm at. I'm gonna do what I can do, and that's all I can do right now.
I mean, I remember walking into the gym for the first time and having absolutely no confidence. And it was because I didn't know how to use the machines. I had no idea what I was doing. Like, I just literally had no clue where to even begin. But you wouldn't know that if you came walking in when any of us were working out. You might say, oh my gosh, they have so much confidence and they're so they know what they're doing. Well, it's because we started from ground zero. We've practiced it. And it's just true that confidence is knowledge. And I think it's the same thing, taking it to everyday life. Like the more you build your confidence in the gym, the more confident you'll be when you go out to do literally anything in life. I remember when we did our workout, we're doing the CrossFit Open workout right now, and I remember finishing that workout, hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life, and I remember literally saying out loud, if I can do that, I can go out and do anything. Nothing can stop me. Where today our workout is a little bit trickier. It's just got more skills in it that I don't have yet. And so honestly my confidence is lower, and that's okay, because that is something that, my confidence is lower when it comes to doing chest to bar pull-ups, but now that's something that I can work on and I can get better at. And then next year when we do this workout, I'll have more confidence going into that. It's the same thing with public speaking. None of us, probably our first time doing maybe one of these videos or just talking in public, it's terrifying at first, but it's something that you practice and you get better at. So confidence is something that, there are people who I think are born a little bit more naturally confident in certain areas, but then there's also people like myself who are very introverted, very shy. It's taken a lot to build up confidence to do the things I do now, but anyone can do it. It's just a matter of practicing whatever you want to be more confident at, just practicing it every day and getting better at it little by little.
Yeah. Real quick, I just want to point out, if you notice, she said that I haven't developed those skills yet. So that's a very important thing to say, because a lot of people that we see, they say, I can't do this, I can't do that, instead of saying, I haven't developed that skill yet, because she's actually working at it. She knows that if she puts in the work, she will develop those skills. All she has to do is day by day keep practicing, and she'll be able to do those chest bar pull-ups, or maybe eventually even a muscle up or something like that. So it's developing the knowledge, how to do it, and then actually having the experience, practicing it, and over time she will develop that confidence and develop that skill. So I just wanted to point that out, very important. So go ahead, Austin.
Yeah, just kind of reiterate what they've said, but in a different way. I feel like confidence is education and application combined. It's a mix of those two things, and like the more you learn and the more you do it, the more confident you get at anything. I know like one of the first times that I led like a group class, especially like a decent sized group class, was terrifying. I was so anxious and like nervous that I would just mess up and like be looked at as dumb and things like that. But just going in there and having almost like a blind confidence in myself that I could do anything I put my mind to, like that can be important too. I think sometimes people get a little ahead of themselves, and like that confidence is false, and like it shows in ways, and you shouldn't do that if it's gonna have like bad repercussions. But to have some confidence in yourself even when you don't feel it, like how I was feeling before I taught that like the first big group class, was really nervous inside. Like inside I felt like I was in shambles, but on the outside I knew I had to keep that calm, that cool, that confidence. So I feel like there's a lot of different ways to improve that skill, but the best way to improve it is to learn from others that do it and apply it.
I think today specifically is a great example of testing our confidence. Like with this specific workout for the open, I have the confidence to do 1 or 2 maybe muscle ups, maybe not enough confidence to do them after I've done like several other pull-ups, and now I'm toasted by that time. But I'm testing my confidence by pushing myself through that. And even more specifically, I'm testing my confidence today by shaving my beard. But I have to remind myself that Austin never has facial hair. So if he could do it, I can too.
Hey, that's just because I can't grow either.
But I think truly like background, like where your foundation starts, builds the experience, right? And then experience leads to skill, and then skill is what builds your confidence the most. So I think that chain is the best way to build this. Like when it comes to compound movements, really complex lifts like cleans and snatches, we start with a foundational movement like a deadlift, and then add hip thrust and like more extension into it, into higher pulling, and then getting underneath it. Like you have to build mobility for all those things. So you have to break things down when they're that complex into simpler components. So once you're unfamiliar, or when you're unfamiliar with something, you have to build confidence by familiarizing yourself with those foundational things.
Great analogy there. Starting with kind of a baseline, like if you're not confident in going to the gym and working out, you just need to learn how to use machines, like Caitlin said. So whether that's coming in and asking somebody for help, like asking maybe a friend who knows how to use the stuff to work out with, or hiring a trainer. That's what we're here for, is to teach you how to perform all those lifts with correct form of technique. That way you have the confidence to come in and do it on your own, or jump into a class or something. I loved Austin's analogy, like, that first class, he was obviously very nervous. Like I remember my first classes, same thing, like you're very nervous about it because you hadn't done it before, but as you do it more and more, you become a whole lot more confident in it. Something that I just kind of make sure that these guys remember is, we know more than the average person. Like we have experience with this stuff. We have more confidence than everybody else. So as long as we keep reminding ourselves of that, we are able to kind of be a little bit more confident in teaching it. So making sure that you're not focusing on the things that you don't know. maybe thinking, do I know everything that I need to know about running a class? Do I know how to do all the lifts with perfect form? No, you don't need to know how to do it exactly correct in order to start doing it. It's the biggest thing is just getting your foot in the door with whatever you're doing in your life, whether it's a new job or going to the gym for the first time, whatever. You need to just start practicing it and then consistently do it over and over again. Austin, we were talking before this, he said, it takes 10,000 repetitions or 10,000 times to master anything. So you just have to keep doing it, and you're going to gain confidence in whatever you're doing the more you do it. So.
Yeah, I think that really comes down to for me when I think of confidence, it's good to have confidence. There's spectrum of having low confidence obviously isn't beneficial because then you're not able to push yourself to your utmost potential. But having too much confidence is also a trippy thing. Confidence is good, but too much of a good thing can be bad. I'll just use myself for example. I know what I can squat and all deadlift, all these different things that I know. Okay, maybe if I wanted to go for a PR, I'd go for 10 pounds over my old max or something like that. Something confident that I've been training, I know I can get that, and have the confidence in myself that I'd be able to do that. Versus when I started, 185 pound squat was scary to me, and even less than that was a little scary because I'd never done it before. So pushing those boundaries, you're not going to be comfortable. You're not going to be you might not be confident in your ability to do that, but you just have to kind of find confidence in what you've been doing to I think I can at least try it. And if you fail, be confident in knowing that you can still work to get that, and you at least know where you're at that point. It's okay to fail, and that doesn't show anything of what you've been doing or your abilities or how confident you are. I think it just really comes down to kind of knowing where you're at, but then being confident in that if you put in the right steps, that you're gonna get to where you want to go. And if you do want to grow your confidence, you can through coming to the gym and through having better nutrition and just building confidence in yourself of I'm able to do these things and follow through and focus on a commitment to myself. A lot of people will break promises to themselves. People that hit the snooze button every morning, they're breaking the first promise they made to themselves the night before was I'm gonna wake up at this time. Nope, I guess I'm gonna hit the snooze button. That's breaking the first promise to yourself. So when you do make a goal or you promise yourself, all right, I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna eat this diet, your brain automatically thinks back to all these times where you broke the promise to yourself. And that's where the low confidence I think stems from of knowing all the things you've done in the past, but you have to kind of accept that that was who you were and it's not who you want to become or who you are now necessarily. So I think that's a big thing people kind of need to be aware of.
I think a lot of times people, they come into the gym and they just get on the treadmill because again, they don't know what to do, just like so many of us have experienced. And you're afraid to ask for help, which I don't understand why as humans we think we need to be so independent that we can't ask for help. I mean, we are meant to be a community, we're meant to work together. We are not meant to do everything on our own, and this is for literally everything in life. But even if you don't want to hire a trainer, you can still ask us how to use something. You can still ask a friend to come with you. Don't be afraid to ask for help. That's what we're here for. That's what we love to do. And believe it or not, we were in your shoes one point in our life where we didn't know how to use a lat pull-down machine either. We didn't know how to deadlift. We didn't know how to squat. Don't be afraid to ask for help because we started at ground zero too. And again, you're not meant to just be sole independent people. You're meant to work together in community and work together.
Yeah, those are both really great points. I feel what Bethany said, discipline builds confidence, and kind of what you're saying is going out of your comfort zone, even if it's having to ask for help, that can build confidence in ways unimaginable to you. So we've probably all heard it. I think most people have probably heard it. That confidence is key. Do you guys think confidence is legitimately the key to unlock all the doors of fitness? Do you think that's what propels people to another level? Is it confidence? Is it a mix of confidence, discipline, and
I think the confidence is built from the discipline.
Yeah.
So have to show up every single day and put in the work, and eventually that confidence will grow. So you might start with zero confidence in yourself or your ability, but if you show up every day and you put in the work and you practice, and then all of a sudden you recognize that you're getting better and you're able to do some things, then your confidence grows, and then it's kind of like, think of, it's like getting the ball rolling. So if I have a huge boulder in front of me, all I have to do is get that thing moving downhill, and then it's going to continue to go and go and go and go. And I'm not going to even have to stop it. It develops that inertia. So as you go along your journey with whatever you're doing, as long as you keep showing up, your confidence is going to continue to grow. You're going to be more disciplined. You're going to get better and better results. I will always say consistency and discipline are the two things that will lead to anything, any kind of success, any area of your life. As long as you're disciplined into it and consistently staying active in it and trying and gaining knowledge, you will succeed in whatever you're trying to.
I think that like just showing up is showing confidence.
Yeah.
Like if that's terrifying to you, if it's terrifying for you to step into a gym, you may not feel confident when you're doing it, but little do you know you are putting forth just a small bit of confidence just to step in here.
Yeah, like you don't want to like lack of fear is cockiness, like you were saying, but you don't want to be afraid of failure. Like you just want it to be like, it's more like I'm afraid of trying more than I'm afraid of failing. Right? So
Yes. Great point. Yeah.
Yeah, I think when it comes back with like confidence is key. I think confidence is like your way of seeing if you're doing the work. It's like it's almost like the byproduct or the symptom of if you're like disciplined and you're being consistent, then confidence is like the byproduct of that. Like if you're confident, then you know you're doing the things right. Usually if it's like genuine confidence, if not like a facade that you're putting out to try and seem confident. If it's true self-confidence, I think that does stem from like the consistency and the discipline. So it's almost like it is key to know if you're gonna succeed and like reach your fullest potential. Just because like it shows you that you are putting in the work. Whereas if you don't have self-confidence, then you kind of have to like reflect back and it's like, am I being consistent? Am I being disciplined? Like, am I doing my best? Because like if you're doing your best, then like you get a lot of confidence out of that because you know that you're giving it your full effort that you possibly have. So I think they're kind of hand in hand, but confidence is definitely a key.
And I think people need to really go out on their own and learn on their own to develop that confidence too. Like, for example, when I first started as a trainer here and when I was going to buy or lease the gym and take over the gym and run it as a business, everybody in town knew that I would fail. Eventually, no gym's ever succeeded in Sandusky. It's too small of a town, he was too young, he doesn't know what he's doing. But I kind of just didn't listen to anybody. I had confidence that as long as I tried my hardest and I knew a lot about fitness and I knew that I could help people, that I was just gonna devote all my time and energy to that to make myself succeed. And so far, this August will be 5 years in and we're bigger than we've ever been. We're continuing to grow. These 4 guys are working here now where it was just myself in the beginning. So by just continually putting in the time, the dedication, the discipline, staying consistent with what I envisioned for a gym, it ended up panning out, and I've gained even more confidence in what we can do now. I've told these guys I think we're just scratching the surface on what we can accomplish as a team and helping more people reach their goals, which is why we do these talks every single week. So I think just to kind of get you guys started with whatever you may be wanting to get better at, like just try to learn a little bit of information about it. Like if you maybe don't have the confidence to walk into the gym yet, maybe start watching YouTube videos on exercises, like how to use machines in the gym, or look up videos on basic body weight movements. Start working out at home. Once you develop the skills of doing those exercises, then maybe you'll be ready to enter the gym and do some things, or call one of us and hire a trainer to learn more. And then it's just going to continue to develop from there. So that would be kind of like my number one recommendation for getting started to build up your confidence in whatever you're doing is don't just rely on other people to tell you what to do or how to do this or that. Like, do your own research and learn yourself from experts or people that have already done it. Is definitely a big thing too, because we just talked about this before we started our talk, was like people that are coming to the gym that are following things that they see on social media. And even if it's not necessarily accurate or correct, they try all these different things. They try to just listen to people because it's on the internet. I would try to make sure that you're learning from people that are actually experienced in it. So the same thing that we're talking about is you need to become experienced in wherever you're doing to become confident. People have already done it, and they're teaching other people how to do the same thing. So if you're seeking out those people that have already gained all the experience and have that confidence in teaching it, like we do with exercise, then you're going to basically increase the rate at which you get to the point where you want to be, if that makes sense. So instead of trying to do every single thing on your own and learning from scratch, seek out help, develop the skills, and then progress as you go, and your confidence is obviously going to increase. Hopefully that makes sense.
I think it's the hardest to be confident when you're first starting at something too. Like when you're just beginning your journey, especially in something like this. Something like this is so complex because there's nutrition, there's recovery, there's training itself, and knowing all the biomechanics behind it. Like it's so frustrating and like deprives people of their confidence when they first start and they realize they have no idea what they're doing. Like we have people that often just get like 2 sessions to start so they can just learn about the machines and like see how they work before they're like, oh, okay, like you have something to start off with now. But I actually like a little sidetrack there, or backtracking rather. I wanted to mention as well, like if you're comparing yourself to others too, like that's going to deplete your confidence, like just so much. Like if I see, like I'm 24, and if I see high schoolers that like can lift more than me in squat or deadlift or something, or bench my deadlift or something stupid like that, and I'm like, wow, that makes me feel like I'm not a very good athlete, right? But then I'm like, okay, well, what was I like in high school? I ran cross country and track. What kind of strength training do I do for those? Not very, if any. And like they're probably only doing that. They're geared for power and strength, where I'm geared for endurance. Now I've become something similar to that, where I like powerlifting and limit lifting. So now I have the experience, but it's like I've spent the equivalent to one high school career, about 4 years in that sort of sport, where they have 2, but I'm just way older than they are now. So it makes me feel like I'm not as confident.
That's another big point though, is like confidence is winning that battle versus yourself and not versus other people.
Yeah, that's a really good analogy. And I would also add on to that, like you never know what somebody put in to get to where they're at. So you might be comparing yourself to somebody that, I'm just not that good, I can't do this. But you have no idea what that person probably did to get to where they were. They probably started out in the same boat that you were in. So, like Nathan said, like it's been about 4 years, and now he's probably at a level where a high schooler, maybe he started when he was 14, and he put 4 years of time in to get to where he was. So you never know where they started from. You know, most likely, every person that you're trying to compare yourself to started from where you were at some point. They probably just put in a ton of work and stayed consistent with it and never quit. That discipline and consistency that I talked about. And now you're looking up to them. So that just goes to show that if you do put in the time, that you have something that you can kind of aim for. Like, oh, that person put in 4 years of training and this is where he's at. If I do that, I can seek similar results. All I have to do is put in the similar work. You know, I can look at Nathan and say, based off how his Olympic lifts and his gymnastics are, I know that he will be a similar athlete to me if he continues to do it for 3 more years, because that's about how long it took me to develop those skills. And I've already seen the improvement improvement, so I can tell him that, hey, you're going to be really good at this stuff, all you gotta do is keep doing it. So that's kind of cool to see too. And I think that builds confidence too, is the reassurance of somebody telling you, hey, you're on the right track to achieving your goals or whatever you want to do, because we've seen it done before.
Right. So you have to like have that affirmation, saying
Yes.
like I am good enough to do that. Like Muhammad Ali, like kept telling himself, no, I am the greatest. Right? So he became the greatest boxer arguably of all time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Good. Is that all?
That's good.
All right, that wraps it up for today. Make sure you like and subscribe so you can see all of our other videos. And start practicing these things. Think about anything that you want to get better at, or maybe something that you struggle with currently, and just start building your foundation. So before you can build your house, you have to lay the foundation. So start learning a little bit about it. Start practicing the basics. You don't have to be an expert right away. And quite frankly, you won't be, because it does take a long time. So just start learning and building on top of that, and then critiquing and getting better. So good luck with that, you guys. Hopefully this helps, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Later.